In this podcast episode, Ben Shapiro delves into the highly contentious meeting between former President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, which culminated in a dramatic fallout. The discussion centers around the implications of their interaction, the geopolitical landscape, and the broader ramifications for U.S. foreign policy. Shapiro sets the stage by explaining the backdrop of the meeting, which was intended to solidify a minerals deal between the United States and Ukraine. Trump, who has long held the belief that U.S. involvement in foreign affairs should yield tangible benefits for American taxpayers, was eager to establish a framework that would ensure U.S. interests were protected while also providing Ukraine with necessary support against Russian aggression. However, Zelenskyy arrived with a different agenda, seeking explicit security guarantees from the U.S. before committing to any economic agreements. The tension between the two leaders was palpable from the outset. Shapiro notes that Zelenskyy's demeanor was aggressive, reflecting his frustration with Trump's previous comments and perceived lack of support for Ukraine. This animosity was compounded by the fact that Zelenskyy had reportedly been advised by Democrats to reject any terms that did not include robust security guarantees, setting the stage for a contentious exchange. As the meeting progressed, Shapiro highlights the pivotal moments that led to what he describes as a nuclear meltdown during the press conference. Trump, attempting to maintain a diplomatic tone, emphasized the need for compromise and the importance of reaching a deal. He expressed confidence in negotiating with Russian President Vladimir Putin, suggesting that a successful agreement would alleviate the need for security guarantees. Zelenskyy, however, continued to press for immediate assurances, arguing that without them, Ukraine could not trust the U.S. commitment. This insistence on security guarantees, particularly in front of the media, was seen as a miscalculation by Shapiro, who argues that such negotiations should have been conducted privately rather than in a public forum. The situation escalated further when Vice President JD Vance interjected, defending Trump and criticizing Zelenskyy for his approach. Vance's comments, which included a reference to Zelenskyy's previous campaign efforts in the U.S., were perceived as provocative, leading to a heated exchange between the two leaders. Shapiro notes that this moment marked a significant turning point in the meeting, as it shifted from a diplomatic discussion to a public confrontation. Following the meeting, Trump issued a statement on Truth Social, expressing his disappointment with Zelenskyy's behavior and suggesting that the Ukrainian leader was not ready for peace negotiations. Shapiro interprets this as a clear indication that the dynamics of U.S.-Ukraine relations had shifted, with Trump signaling a potential withdrawal of support if Zelenskyy continued to act in a manner he deemed disrespectful. The podcast also explores the broader implications of this fallout for U.S. foreign policy. Shapiro argues that the meeting could signify a shift in how the U.S. engages with its allies, particularly in Europe. He posits that if Zelenskyy's approach continues to alienate U.S. support, it may embolden Russia to escalate its aggression in Ukraine and beyond. Shapiro emphasizes the importance of a strong U.S. presence on the global stage, arguing that America's role as a hegemonic power is crucial for maintaining stability and protecting its interests. He warns that a retreat from this position could lead to increased chaos and conflict, not only in Ukraine, but also in other regions where U.S. influence is vital. In a lighter segment, Shapiro briefly touches on the recent Oscars ceremony, noting the stark contrast between the political tensions of the Trump-Zelenskyy meeting and the entertainment industry's focus on social issues. He critiques the Hollywood elite for their performative gestures, such as thanking the sex worker community during acceptance speeches, while simultaneously ignoring the complexities of real-world issues like the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Shapiro highlights the absurdity of Hollywood's moral posturing, particularly in light of the ongoing violence and suffering in regions like Gaza. He argues that the entertainment industry often fails to grasp the realities of the situations they comment on, opting instead for simplistic narratives that align with their ideological beliefs.